Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by the head coach of Albany baseball. That, of course, is John Mueller. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about how these past few weeks have gone. How's practice kind of gone as we get ready for the season, which literally starts next week?
Yeah, it's been a really exciting time. Obviously, we currently don't have an indoor facility on campus. They're renovating both of our facilities right now. So we're going off site to two different workout facilities, and it's worked out well for us. One of them has a turf infield we can use. We got multiple mounds going. We can bring our pitching machine in there, do all of our offensive and defensive stuff we like to do, and we can even go live in there on the turf facility. So it's really been a nice treat for the guys and the staff.
So let's talk. Kind of take me around the diamond. Go around and tell everyone where's everyone going to be at this year?
Yeah, so I think we'll start in some of the easier positions we have some returners back. John Daly's going to be in left field. Really, was just named the captain by his teammates, who received every single vote from the team. So that should tell you what they think of him. Super hard-nosed kid, very athletic kid, and we're looking forward to having him as an everyday guy in left. In center field will be Jason Batari. He's a guy that stole a number of bases last year. Another very athletic guy with a ton of experience out in center, so we feel really good. And right field will kind of be Josh Loeffler will start. He's a fifth-year guy, and he will man that position to begin with. And they'll have some competition out there in right for sure. So there'll be some Josh Shalandi and a number of other guys will be battling for time out there. So that's kind of the outfield. We feel pretty good there. We have some experience. We have some depth. Third base will be Will Binder, who is a transfer from LaSalle. LaSalle discontinued their baseball program. And, he had 52 starts with them last year in a conference comparable to ours. So he does bring some experience with him. So we're excited about Will. And then at first base would be Will File, who made a big jump last year, another captain who is a guy who really put himself in a good position. He lost a bunch of weight, got really explosive, and he's a dangerous guy. He's kind of a high on base percentage guy, but he's got some sneaky pop in his bat. So he's another guy who's a captain. Behind the plate, Chris Fisher and transfer Carson Dunkel from Siena. So we have some experience back there. I think we're pretty good there. We're going to try to replace a really good leader last year in Josh Gernak. And then obviously the two headline guys, Brad Malin at short, was probably the best player I've ever had all around. That says a lot after 23 years. I thought he should have been Conference Player of the Year last year. I thought he should have been a top 50 shortstop in the country. And I'm a registered conservative, so that tells you what I think of him. Tremendous player. He hit over 20 doubles last year. We played in an enormous park. It's 410 to left center, and the wind sometimes blows in. So you're not going to hit home runs here very often. So he's a dangerous guy with a lot of juice. Tremendous high-level elite defender at short. Second base is another guy who probably took some votes away from Brad last year, Johnny Marty, he likes to go by, but he's tremendous defender, professional hitter, left-hand hitter with some power. Really another very dangerous guy. I mean, those two guys, knock on wood, we keep them healthy. I think they made 4 errors each all year last year. Maybe I think they had one more. Somebody had one at the end, but really talented up the middle. Both guys are going to hit with a lot of juice. Look, we're going against Georgia. We know the deal. Elite pitching, top 20 team. I'm not saying we're going to go cause all this destruction, but for a mid-major like us, we're super fortunate to have those two guys. It won't be replaceable. So we'll feel good about it. I mean, the guys are excited. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. We can move on to the staff in a second, but our guys are excited. We've been talking about, getting back to a regional since 2007. We've been talking about winning a championship since we lost the conference tournament last year. This is a weathered group. This isn't a rookie team. We have, these guys have been to 3 or 4 conference tournaments, and their goal is to win it and go to the NCAA. So that's kind of the mindset that we have heading down. This isn't 15 freshmen and 6 new starters. We have a concern at third, little concern behind the plate. But after that, these guys have been through the war. They'll be overwhelmed maybe game 1, but I think they'll settle in, and we're hoping to play clean baseball. That's what we're really trying to do.
So let's talk about the pitching staff for a second. Let's go into that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very often you have a 6th-year ace coming back. and Ray Weber. He'll probably set the all-time wins record here. 6, his last high school game, he pitched against Ian Anderson. I don't know if you know Ian Anderson, who pitches for the Braves.
Yeah.
Works out in the same facility as us. So we see him every morning, he and his brother. So it's kind of cool. And the other facility, we have Tommy Canley, who works out at that facility with South Troy. So kind of neat. The guys get to see these big league guys on a daily basis. But Ray Weber highlights the staff, veteran guy, won't get rattled. I mean, I think he went 6 innings plus nearly every start last year. So he won 8 games. Tough luck loser in game 1 in the conference tournament. Gave up a windblown home run late in the game that hurt us. But he's a veteran guy. He won't be rattled. He works fast. He works very fast. Keeps runners close. Fields his position. He's a solid dude. Right behind him will either be we'll probably say Craig Scherer. He's a lefty. Maybe has the most electric stuff on our team. Fastball run up to 93, power breaking ball, power slider, and a changeup. And when he's got 3 of those going, he's tough. But he's got to keep command. Sometimes he gets a little erratic with the fastball. That's what makes it hard to hit. So he's a guy I'm really excited about. He's in his 3rd year now, redshirt sophomore, draft eligible, has had some interest. And then obviously Anthony Germanero made a major jump last year. He's a low to mid 90s guy with a heavy sinker, power slider, good changeup. He's got a lot of force to his ball. It really bores in on righty's hands. So, super excited for those 3 guys. And behind them, we got Connor Eisman, who last year we had 4 games in the weekend, so he was one of our 4 starters. He'll slide back to a bullpen role, but he'll get some extension this week. I'm expecting him to go probably 2 or 3 innings this week. Not sure. Another guy, he's probably 150 pounds, but he's pitched in all sorts of weather. He's from Buffalo area, so he's a tough kid. He's got great stuff. Another guy who's hard to hit. So we feel good about that. Then obviously we've got a number of new guys, of new guys that are going to kind of fill their roles as they go. You're talking about, Rob Mineta is another guy that returns from last year. He was one of our better guys out of the pen. He's just kind of a lunch pail guy. You're like, he's not going to blow up the radar. He's not going to do this, but doesn't get hit. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what he's doing, but we've looked at the analytics with him. So it's been interesting to do that with the Rapsodo and see what makes him hard to hit. Steven Turk will be back out of the pen. And obviously we have a lot of young guys we're excited about. I mean, just excited to see these guys go pitch 1 clean inning and kind of build off of that. And, we need to really come up with a plan to complete our staff in terms of, we need to find out what roles guys are going to fit into, who's in the middle of the game, who's the guy that comes in when we're down 7-0, who's the guy that comes in when it's 4-2. But Mineta's the guy we feel comfortable about late in the game if we have a lead, because he's done it before. He's not your typical closer, but that's why he's effective. Everybody wants a closer. It's 92, 96. We don't have that here, but we do have somebody that's effective for us. That's what we talked about. Just being effective in your role. You do your role, pass it on to the next guy.
All right. Talk about where do you think the conference is at with the American East Conference? Because kind of more going back to maybe a more traditional type schedule this year.
Yeah, we're excited that we're able to kind of take a headline trip. I think it's great for the guys to go to a Power 5, go to an SEC. We went to Arizona a few years ago, and I've done just about everywhere in my time at Albany, Miami to Hawaii. I've taken the guys everywhere I could, because just think it's a great experience, so they'll be excited. They'll be amped up. The guys, they hopefully will settle down, but once we get going, but in terms of the America East, I think a lot of teams are traveling early, which is good. Last year, we kind of were up against it still. And I know Binghamton had it the worst. They were only able to play conference games, going out. So your first game's a conference game. Nobody wants that. There's not a coach in the country that'll sign up for that. So having the ability to get 4 starts under our guys' belts and have the ability to have, 30 at bats, to at least have some initial data going into the meaningful part of our season is obviously extremely important. We're going to hold our breath with weather each time. And, the America East is obviously going through kind of reconstruction. Hartford is gone Division III. And obviously Stony Brook left for the Colonial last week with Monmouth and Hampton, I believe.
Yeah.
So, there's always talk about us possibly going to that conference. And I don't really comment on it because I don't know where it's at. I just know that people have asked me questions, and we don't have an answer to that right now. I mean, I'm excited about this conference. It's a great conference. It's a very, very underrated conference, and in my opinion. But I'm sure a lot of mid-majors like to say that, right?
Yeah. Where do you guys think you need? What's the biggest thing you need to do to get to where you need to go within to get back to the conference tournament, to get back and really just really kind of right some of the wrongs?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a fascinating concept because I always just wanted to make the conference tournament. I'm like, as long as we make the conference tournament, it'll be a good year. And I think we've been to 14 of in the last 17 years, we've been to 14 of them. And
yeah.
Last year I thought we were built to win a championship. The year before that, including COVID, I thought we were built to win a championship. And I go into this year thinking the same thing, just because of the elite pieces we have. We're not going to have those elite defenders next year. We're not going to have them. We're not going to have a veteran, at short, a veteran at third, a veteran left, center, right, first base, behind the plate, 3 starters, all back. It's a pretty nice Christmas. So we've decided to kind of contour our thinking to how can we prepare these guys better as coaches? What can we do better? What can we do differently in terms of our mindset, in terms of, reaching out to coaches you love. I love the guy, just different guys you like to read about, NFL guys, baseball coaches. Sometimes it's women's basketball coaches I look at, which is, unique. It's become a fascination of mine, but I think it's just a great way to kind of tell the guys that we want to do whatever we can and open it up our ears. And we have weekly captains meetings and, obviously our academic meetings. Then we have meetings with each guy just to kind of say, hey, this is what your role is. This is what you need to do more. This is what you're doing well. And then really just trying to be effective communicators to our guys. I think the greatest motivation, self-motivation, and that's what we try to preach with our guys.
All right. Well, Coach, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and good luck throughout the season. Let's have you on again sometime.
I appreciate it. Take care.